हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. A very good morning to you all. Myself, JVN Dr. Ravi Jain, Assistant Professor, Department of Practice of Medicine at Faculty of Homeopathic Science in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the practical aspect of pulmonary function test in the respiratory system. Whenever a patient is coming to us and we want to assess the respiratory functions of that particular individual, then the test that is performed is known as pulmonary function test. This is a very important test from the examination point of view. So, what is the significance of pulmonary function test and how to read the values of pulmonary function test to reach at a particular diagnosis, we are going to learn today in this lecture. Pulmonary function test, these tests aids to assess the functional impairment, effect of the treatment and progress of the disease. So pulmonary function test, why these tests are done? These are done to assess the functional impairment in case of a respiratory disease, to check for the effect of treatment and for the progress of disease, to assess whether the patient is improving after treatment or the disease is progressing. This is performed by means of pulmonary function test. Pulmonary function tests are basically non-invasive tests that show how well the lungs are working in a particular individual. The tests measure lung volume, lung capacity, rates of the flow and gaseous exchange. So these measure lung volume, the lung capacity, the rates of the flow and gas exchange. Most common test that is done for assessing the pulmonary function is spirometry, in which we get a graph showing all the above mentioned values. Now, how to perform the test of ventilation? There are certain things that are to be kept into mind while assessing the pulmonary functions of a particular individual. In this slide, we will try to learn some specific values that we should know before assessing the lung function test. The forced expiratory volume in the first second is known as FEV1. The forced vital capacity, this will be represented by FVC. Vital capacity will be denoted by VC, and the ratio of FEV1 divided by vital capacity will be talked about. These are very important parameters to assess the ventilatory function. These are recorded by a spirometer. So the spirometer records all these values after maximum forced and related expiration. The volume of air exhaled between 0.25 seconds and 0.75 seconds, that is middle half second on the spirometer graph, constitutes of peak expiratory flow volume. For interpretation of results, the value obtained in spirometer are compared with predicted values based on age, sex, height and body constitution. Now this is the graph, how the values are shown in the graph of spirometry and how to assess. The first one, A, is the pattern of the normal vital record capacity, showing the forced expiratory volume in first, second and third second. The second one, the B1, is the graph showing the FEV1 in case of chronic obstructive lung disease. That is, if a patient is coming to you with COPD, then the second graph is presented. If the restriction, if the capacity is further reduced, especially in case of restrictive lung disease with chest deformity, then we get the third graph. In case of fourth, it is the normal measurement of FEV1 and FVC. Fifth one represents the forced expiratory flow during 25 to 75% of the expiration. So these graphs shows the measurement of forced expiratory volume in first second, that is FEV1, forced vital capacity, and maximum mid expiratory flow MEF, that is 25 to 75% in normal individuals and in various lung disorders. So these graphs you get while performing a spirometry. During spirometry, two types of defect are usually noticed. Number one is the obstructive ventilatory defect, where FEV1 is reduced, vital capacity remains normal and or is slightly reduced, and the ratio FEV1 divided by vital capacity is reduced. Next, we have restrictive ventilatory defect, that is FEV1 is reduced, vital capacity is also reduced, but the ratio of FEV1 divided by vital capacity is increased or may sometimes be normal. Next, we have peak expiratory flow. Peak expiratory flow, it is measured during forced expiration by simple flow meter. It is useful to detect airflow obstruction, response to treatment, and reversible changes. Third is the lung volumes. The values of the lung volumes are obtained either by diluting inert gas helium into the gases in the lungs or by whole body plethysmography. The values are compared to normal, and the commonly measured lung volumes are functional residual capacity. So this was all about the volumes. Now we will discuss the changes that are observed in case of obstructive lesions or the restrictive lesions. So pulmonary function test in cases of obstructive and restrictive ventilatory defects will be discussed in this slide, and the changes that you are going to see. Forced expiratory volume during first second is markedly reduced in the obstructive lesions, whereas in restrictive lesions it is slightly reduced. The vital capacity in case of obstructive lesion is reduced or may be normal. But the vital capacity in case of restrictive lesions is markedly reduced. The FEV1 or the vital capacity is reduced in case of obstructive lesion, whereas it is increased or normal in case of restrictive lesion. The peak expiratory flow volume is reduced in case of obstructive lesion, whereas it is normal in case of restrictive lesion. The FRC is increased in the obstructive lesion, whereas it is reduced in case of restrictive lesion. The residual volume is increased in case of obstructive lesion, whereas in the restrictive lesion it is reduced. The total lung capacity is increased in case of obstructive lesion, whereas it is reduced in case of restrictive lesion. Next, we have partial pressure of oxygen. It is decreased in case of obstructive lesion, whereas it is decreased in case of restrictive lesion. Whereas the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is increased in case of obstructive lesion, whereas it is low or normal in case of restrictive lesion. So this was all about the pulmonary function test and the interpretation of these tests. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss about the invasive tests of respiratory system. This session was powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box and I'll try to resolve it. So this was all for today. We will be meeting in the next lecture tomorrow. Thank you very much.